Well, good morning. It's Thursday morning. I've been thinking, something's crossed my mind, and I've been giving it some serious thought. We just found out this morning, as a matter of fact, there's now 3 states, Maryland being the third one, that is going to do away with the Second Amendment, and which is, violation of the Constitution of the United States. The Supreme Court has ruled on this numerous times. Now, maybe you're wondering how they can get away with this. The fact of the matter is, Supreme Court, they are only to write opinions and overturn lesser courts when lesser courts violate the Constitution of the United States. It's really hard to get anything before the Supreme Court, though. So here we go. Even though the Constitution of the United States, the federal government guarantees a republic form of government. Isn't that funny? I mean, it couldn't be any less than a republic form of government that we live in now. It is what is it? It is a pure democracy, and a pure democracy is something. I mean, it's a disaster. It always has been a disaster. Move this down a little bit. Okay, and You've heard of theocracy, a religious government. What's a democracy? It's pretty easy to understand. Demon rule, the rule of the masses. And the masses, they get brainwashed, evidently quite easily, we're seeing in this country. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So, what are we to do? Well, look at the executive branch of the government. They control the DOJ and the Department of Justice, the FBI, U.S. Marshals, et cetera, and all those alphabet agencies that are working under that. They're not your friend. They're totally against you. They're totally against freedom. I don't give a crap what they try to say, how much propaganda they decide to come up with, how they're taking care of the people. Good grief. That is such a embarrassing slap in the face. And you know what? The people just kind of go along with it, There's an old saying, can't see it from my house. Well, that's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. So now you have basically 2 branches of the government turned against the people, and the legislative branch, in my opinion, isn't far behind. I think we've been a little bit fortunate in the legislative branch of the government in at least bringing things to light. They have no enforcement power, but now they can take the money from them, but they're not doing that, are they? And they got, you'd have to have unanimous decisions by both Congress and the Senate to even do that, and that'll never happen. Okay, so what it boils down to is you're not going to get any help from any branch of the government or the government, period. So what's the remedy? Well, this is what's really becoming more obvious every day. The militia. The militia is mentioned 4 times in the Constitution of the United States. And in Title, Article 1, Section 8, it talks about the militia. They're the enforcement powers, the people, the consent of the governed. And so the people are the ones that have to rein in this federal government. And obviously I'm not seeing it. Nobody's seeing it, not really. I just look around at some of the really bad stuff that's taken place in this country, where you have law enforcement. When I say law enforcement, I'm including the FBI, DOJ, all the way down to local law enforcement, even many times the sheriffs, which is very, very, very sad. They are going along with this whole thing, all right? When these supposed laws, which are statutes and codes, come down to the pike, have you met, it's very rare that any member of law enforcement say, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. That's unconstitutional. That is immoral. You just don't see it. If the people don't rally together and, have a well-organized militia, which is the whole responsibility is to protect the Constitution of the United States, to enforce the Constitution of the United States, necessary to a free state. Okay, that's what a regular militia is for, a well-regulated militia. I said organized. I'm probably close to the same. But a well-regulated militia is the purpose to having a free state. And before I close, let me throw in this. Forget the churches. No, forget them all. They're not going to do one single thing. In fact, they are more and more they're coming against you. Okay? And I really have an axe to grind with, I'll go ahead and say, my church. But not so much my church as the leaders of my church have a huge axe to grind. They just sit on their asses. They don't do nothing. They go along with their, oh, well, that's not our job. That's not our job. Oh, really? That's not your job. What is your job then? Okay, over and out.